Hello and welcome to another episode of the Careers Chat. I'm Siobhan Kadir.
And I'm Constantina D, and we're delighted that you've joined to listen to us today.
And we're going to talk about AI and recruiters.
Yeah, let's have a chat and see, or try to understand how recruiters use AI now to screen applicants, but also explore how you as applicants can use or should use AI to improve your application.
Sounds like a good idea because I'm seeing a lot of students who want to use AI or feel they should be using AI because their friends are, and they kind of feel a little bit left out and disadvantaged than what you're coming across.
Yeah, similarly, but I think most of the people I work with, they use AI tools like ChatGPT or Gemini or you name it, and they seem to be pretty savvy in using it. However, we need to be careful because what we hear is the employers notice when your CV has been written by AI or your cover letter has been modified so many times by AI that it doesn't sound human. And it's full with what they describe as chunky words.
I love that.
Chunky words. So lots of people do use AI, but let's explore what employers are saying first, Shiv. What's your feedback?
So, a member of Employer Connect group within Student Opportunity, and this year she actually spoke to particularly STEM recruiters, and some recruiters admitted to being very far behind in their use of AI in terms of their recruitment processes, even in terms of their day-to-day processes and roles. So, it's one of these things that everybody is kind of becoming aware of. But, recruiters need to find out how it works best for them. So it's something that you're going to have to constantly keep an eye on. Some recruiters have been using it for years. They've been using it in sifting through applications, looking at key buzzwords. One of the feedbacks that we've had from them is using the terminology in the job description to kind of guide your AI prompts, because that will then enable that you're doing a targeted response. I mean, that's something that I think most of us have been saying for years. Use the advert, tailor it to the advert. I think there's issues around the discrepancies between the free versions of AI and the paid for versions of AI. And that's causing a little bit of a kind of a gap, if you like. The paid for versions are better. And what some research has shown is that the free versions are actually worse than not using it at all. Now, that's not to say we're saying to go out and pay for it, but we're just saying be aware of that. Don't just rely on it. And certainly don't be the kind of person who just puts everything into AI and then sends that CV off. No, you've got to have a look and see, does it reflect you? I think companies are concerned about how it enhances an application and that isn't then reflected in the person that they're interviewing.
Yeah, and that's why we still need the interview in person to assess the person. But I just want to go back on the point that you made, that there is differences between the paid for version and the one that's free version. And some of the recruiters say that the 1/4 of job seekers who paid for ChatGPT passed the recruitment stages, the screening stages, with flying colors. And they also noticed that those who pay come from higher socioeconomic backgrounds. So they're already trying to, or seeing and recording that those applications are AI generated, really.
So again, it's adding another level of discrimination.
It is.
Yeah. And it's not encouraging the diversity. So it's a real shame that AI isn't like everything, it isn't an automatic force for good. It can be another barrier that you have to overcome. I mean, I've had an example from a recruiter saying that they had someone who dropped out through guilt of using AI.
Oh,
yeah, they'd used AI and they'd used AI for their application to prepare for interview, and then the further they got on, the more guilty they found, and so they withdrew. So, which is a little bit of a sort of
okay, at least
across,
Yes, but how do we use then AI to help us?
I think we use it as another tool, another kind of way of kind of focusing in on our motivations. about our knowledge of what we do, how we do it, the skills that we have, and also we're aware of how employers are using it. As like Mercedes, for instance, are sort of putting in questions that AI can't actually help with. So they were trying to outwit that. But I mean, the next version of Gemini or ChatGPT or other AI resources are available will probably overcome that. So it's about going back to those core points about, do you know why you're applying? Do you know why you're suitable for this job? Do you know what skills and attributes you have? And using AI to finesse that, but not to talk over you.
Absolutely. And again, I'm referring to this article that we'll share on the website once we finish the podcast. It's from the Financial Times. And they say that the big four accountants like Deloitte, EY, PwC, KPMG have warned graduates against using AI in their applications. So still, employers want to see what you're saying, shift your personality, your authentic value, the skills that you bring, how you assess your interest or match to the organization, and why you're applying for this role.
Exactly, because if you can't articulate that clearly at interview, when AI's done it for you, that's when you're going to struggle. You've got to use this as a tool to extend yourself, but you've got to grow with it. And I think one of the other feedbacks recruiters give is they have these fabulous CVs, and then the person turning up to the interview just doesn't match up to this fabulous CV. So don't put yourself in that position. Utilize AI, but grow with it. Don't just go, oh, the CV is great, that's it, that's all I have to do. You have to put the work in, and getting a job is a job in itself. We say this so many times, but it's true, and it takes a lot of hard work. I think my message would be, don't be scared of it, but be in control of it.
Yeah, and still you be there. You can use it to generate ideas. I think for interview preparation, it's really good because AI can offer you some questions, but then how you answer the question, how you respond to those challenging issues, it's up to you. And that's when you can evidence your expertise, your experience, your skills is what story you're telling. And AI doesn't know you that well to tell the story. But definitely, I think for interview preparation is really good. Maybe analyzing the job descriptions in terms of the key requirements, but they're pretty much written down, so you don't necessarily need to use AI for that.
My point would be, you don't have to use AI. You can use AI, but it's still got to be your voice. You still got to be authentic. That's still got to be, the CV's got to reflect who you are and what you are, and not try and make you something that you're not.
Yeah. Even using, as I'm referring back to when I started with the chunky words, AI, I find it uses lots of American words. Obviously, if a UK-based employer, they'll be very specific about certain spelling. So if they see that the spelling uses the American spelling, they'll be like immediately assuming that you've used AI. So
at least
do your edit.
I know a colleague who used AI to do their piece of work for them, and the boss immediately went, why are there American spellings in this? You've used AI. Yes. So I think that's a really important point. I mean, this is an area that we could talk a lot more about, and we will obviously return over this season too. But I think, the main points we've covered, we will put a lot of the resources into the chat. I would say have a look at GradCracker. They offer a lot of resources, but also check out the university careers events and workshops, because there's a lot of AI related sessions going on.
Yeah, and there will be even more, because we are learning, as you guys are learning to use the tools. So we're exploring different ways of prompting, of creating the prompts, of using the AI tools. So keep an eye on events coming in the autumn term, specifically on how to use AI
definitely
for your career.
And get in touch with us if you've got any ideas, thoughts, views, questions, and we will try and get back to you.
Yeah. Thank you for listening once again, and talk to you soon. Bye bye from me.
And bye bye from me.